Hello, are you ready? This time it's Writing Series Chapter 4, which is Part 3, Extended Writing for Article. Check it out. I really appreciate it if you can subscribe to my channel. And if you like the content of this video, please give me a like by clicking the like button and share this video with your friends. In this video, we will first look at the definition of extended writing, and then we will look at article and its format, and then we will learn how to write the introduction, the main body, and finally the closure. Towards the end, we will have some exercise. Before we proceed, we need to know what is extended writing. Extended writing is basically part 3 in the SPM paper. Extended means that you'll be given what to write as guide, but you need to expand it. You need to elaborate and make it longer. And you must use all the points given, just like part 2. Unlike part 2, part 3 has 4 different formats, which are article, review, story, and also report. But this video will focus on article. So, what is an article? An article is a semi-formal essay written for a larger audience, usually published in magazines, newspapers, or journals. What does it mean by semi-formal? Meaning it has certain format and the language you use need to be somewhat formal. Meaning you are not allowed to use contractions such as I'm instead of I am, it's instead of it is. That is, among the things that you cannot use for semi-formal essays. And articles are usually written for, to give information, to inform, to persuade, to give opinion, as well as to describe something such as place, event, or a person. This is how article questions should look like in the exam paper, right? They may change the layout slightly, but usually this is how it looks like, right? The one on top here is basically a given situation or scenario with context. Like this one, you read about promoting online shopping on a website. Is it important? Not that important. It's just a scenario, right? And then this one, this is only a statement. You don't have to pay much attention to it. So basically, when you see that, it's an article. And then this is the given title. You can use this as your title for your article. And then this one, basically this is just an instruction. It tells you that you need to write an article and using all the points. And then this one actually is the continuation of the situation or scenario earlier from the top, right? So the one in the middle here, see the one with the bullet points, these are the points for your article. When you're writing an article, you must remember that articles have 4 parts, which are the first one is title, which is a short phrase suggesting what the article is all about. And then just like part 2, it has another 3 parts, which are introduction, which is written in 1 paragraph, and then the main body, which can be written in 1 or more than 1 paragraphs, and finally the closure, which is written in 1 paragraph. So articles have title. And how do you write the title? First, you need to know what is the title. The title provides brief and clear description of the article's content. So basically, when people look at the title of the article, people can quite guess what the content of the article is. Sometimes title is already given in the question. Remember the question I showed earlier, right? So you can use it as the title for your article. Now let's learn how to write introduction for articles. If you have watched my previous video about part 2, then this one has a lot of similarities, but I have added some more information, some more important things which you can use for article as well as for part 2 actually. Let's see. The introduction for articles has two parts, which are the first one, you need to introduce the topic or issue, and then followed by providing a thesis statement. Well, let's see how to write the introduction. To introduce the topic in articles, you can use one or combination of the options below. The first one is to give a definition, or you can provide statistics. You can also use quotes or proverbs, and you can also ask rhetorical questions as well as providing general statement or general background. To give definition, you may use these phrases to start your sentence. The topic, whatever your topic is, and then the definition. Or you can say the topic and then can be defined as, and then you give the definition. Well, remember the topic for our discussion in this video is online shopping. So how would you define online shopping? Remember, when doing practice, do not rely too much on dictionary. Always try to give your own definition, no matter how simple it is. A simple definition we can give for online shopping is buying things via the internet. So we get online shopping is buying things via the internet, or online shopping can be defined as buying things via the internet. Next is providing statistics. You can use these phrases to provide statistics. The first one is you give a number which is below 10 so that you can say, let's say number 8. 8 out of 10. Who, you mention who, today have, and then you mention something that they have done. Right? We will see example after this. And then the other one is we use percentage. More than you give a number which is below 100, for example 80, more than 80% of, and then the same thing, who today have done something. You may ask a question, how do we know statistics? Of course we don't know, so we have to create them. But remember, when we want to create a statistic, make it believable. How? Make sure the numbers are logical. Right? It sounds logic and believable. And let's look at some examples. And we will get this. 8 out of 10 teenagers today have tried buying something online. Okay, you see? So 8 out of 10 who teenagers today have, what have they done? Tried buying something online. The other one, more than 90% of teenagers today have tried buying something online. What if you want to use quotes or proverbs? Let's see. If you want to use quote, you can use this. You mention the name of who said it. One said that, and then you give the direct quote with, that opening inverted commas and also closing. And then if you want to use proverbs, you can use this phrase. As the saying goes, comma, and then open, close, inverted commas with the proverb. Let's look at the example of quotes and proverbs. So for quote, we will get this. Marilyn Monroe once said that happiness is not in the money, but in shopping. Because, we talk about online shopping. So the quote is about shopping. So what about proverbs? As the saying goes, necessity is the mother of inventions, because we want to talk about online shopping, which is something new. But I actually do not really recommend using keywords or proverbs, because if you're not familiar with them, number one, you might misspell some of the words, or number two, you might have a shit. Another option is to ask rhetorical questions. But what are rhetorical questions? Actually, I have explained this in my previous video, but let's go through it one more time. Rhetorical questions are basically questions that you ask without the need for an answer or because the answer is known to all. If you want to ask rhetorical questions in your introduction, you can use these phrases. Did you know that? And then you give a related fact. Or have you ever wondered about, you mentioned the topic. Or can you believe that the topic has been or has become an important part of something which is related to the topic? Let's see the examples. Since the topic is online shopping, we'll get this. Did you know that online shopping is becoming more essential to us, especially during this pandemic? Or have you ever wondered about online shopping? Or can you believe that online shopping has been an important part of our life since COVID-19 attack? And the final option is providing general statement. General statement is when we provide general information about something. To provide general statements, these phrases are very helpful. The topic is an activity or program where, and then you give the general information. Or the topic can be said as, and then you give the general information. Let's look at the example. We will get this. Online shopping is an activity where we buy something via the internet without the need to go to the shop. Or, online shopping can be said as one of the most convenient things humankind has ever invented. We have seen various ways to introduce the topic. Now let's look at how to write a thesis statement. But before we proceed, we need to know what is a thesis statement. Basically, thesis statement is a sentence, yes, just one sentence, that lists down all the main points. Here are some suggestions, right? First one, in this article, you will read or learn about, and then what is it? For example, in this article, you will read or learn about the advantages of online shopping and the things people would buy online. Another way to write this is if you read further, you will discover about, and then whatever it is. For example, if you read further, you will discover about the advantages of online shopping and the things people would buy online. Another way of doing it is delve deeper into this article if you want to know or learn more about, and then whatever it is, the thesis statement, right? So for example, delve deeper into this article if you want to know or learn more about the advantages of online shopping and the things people would buy online. So you see here, what you add towards the end of these phrases is basically what you will discuss in the body. And how do you know that? It's in the questions, the bullet points. We have learned different ways to introduce the topic as well as writing the thesis statement. So what is a good sample introduction for online shopping? Let's see. Can you believe that more than 90% of teenagers today have the experience of buying something online? So what is it? That one is rhetorical question. Believe it or not, online shopping can be said as one of the most convenient things humankind has ever invented. That's general statement. As the saying goes, necessity is the mother of inventions. And that is a quote. If you read further, you will discover about the advantages of online shopping and the things people would buy online. And finally, the last sentence is a thesis statement. Yes, very good. We have learned how to write the introduction, so now we move on to how to write the main body. Let's go. In order to write a good essay, you need to know how to elaborate the ideas. You can do that by planning your ideas, by brainstorming your ideas first. And how can you do that? You can expand your ideas using DER, right? So DER. D is details, E is examples, and R reasons. How can we brainstorm ideas for essays? Remember, for essays, I mentioned earlier that there are a few keywords like benefits, ways, advantages, or disadvantages, as well as types of something. Okay, if you are talking about benefits, then we can go into more details. We can ask the question how. How can it benefit us? Right? For example, if we do recycling, then how can we benefit from it? It will reduce waste, right? And then if we are talking about ways to do something, for example, ways to keep motivated, we can go into details by asking how. And then we can provide examples or we can give reasons. And then if you're talking about advantages or disadvantages, we can go into details. What is it? And then we can give examples. And if we are talking about types, then we can go into details. What is it? What are the types? And then we can give examples. Right? Remember, you don't need to use DER to expand every point. Okay, not necessary to use all DER together. You can basically mix them, choose and use whenever and wherever necessary. Now let's look at some very useful linkers, or basically linking words or phrases. Okay, first, if we want to list down or add points, we can use this. If it's your first point, you can say firstly or first. First of all, to begin with, to start with. And then, when you go into the next point, you can use besides that, in addition, furthermore, moreover, in other words, apart from that, also, and also next. And if you're talking about the last point, you can say lastly, last but not least, and also finally. If you are expressing contrast meaning the opposite idea, okay, yang berlawanan, then if it's at the start of a sentence, you can use however, you can use although, you can use on the contrary, you can use in contrast. Or if you are using it in the middle of a sentence, you can use but or while. And then if you are linking two contrasting points, you can mention the first point with on the one hand, and then when you are mentioning the opposite one, you can say on the other hand, right? Maybe I will make a video just for linkers one day, if I have the chance. If you want to give example, what are the linkers you can use? You can use for instance, for example, and also such as. And if you are giving opinion, you can use the way I see it, personally, I think, I believe, in my opinion, from my view. Okay, so these are the linkers that you can use throughout your essays and other writing as well. Okay, remember you don't need to memorize all these phrases. There are too many. What you can do is you can pick and choose which you like best or you think that you can easily use them, and then practice using them until you can master them and you are able to use it smoothly. Okay, I want to highlight something which I have seen so many students, at least my students, make mistake. It's about using for example, for instance, and also such as. So how do we correctly use linkers to show examples? Well, here are some simple rules. If you want to use such as, it can only be used in the middle of a sentence. And then it will be followed by nouns, list of things. So let's say such as A and B, or such as A, B, and C. So A, B, and C are nouns. If you want to use for example or for instance, it can be at the start or the middle of a sentence. However, it must be followed by complete sentence. Unlike such as you only list down nouns. Don't worry, let's look at examples. Now for using such as. Remember, such as cannot be at the start of the sentence, of any sentence. It has to be in the middle. Okay, let's look at an example. To eat healthy, we can start by eating fruits such as bananas, apples, and pineapples. You see, such as is in the middle of the sentence. It's not at the start of the sentence. Do not do this. To eat healthy, we can start by eating fruits, full stop, such as bananas, apples, and pineapples. What's that? That is not even a complete sentence. So do not do this. Okay, use the first example. Do not ever do the second one. And remember, when you are using such as, you can list down nouns, at least two nouns. Let's look at an example. To eat healthy, we can start by eating fruits such as bananas, one example, one noun, apples, two nouns, pineapples, three nouns. And please don't do this. To eat healthy, we can start by eating fruits such as bananas, apples, and many more. Many of you have done this, right? I'm sure many of you have done this. If you don't use many more, you may use and so on, and others, and etc., things like that. Please do not use this. So why many students use this? I'm sure, if I'm not mistaken at this, I think it's because this is taught in Bahasa Melayu. Because in karangan Bahasa Melayu, you are taught to write seperti A, B, dan sebagainya. For English, when you use that, it seems as if you don't have much ideas. I'm not sure. Maybe in BM it looks like you have a lot of ideas, but you don't have the time or space to write them. But for English, when you use and many more and so on and others or and etc. and stuff like this, it simply gives the impression for the markers that you don't have ideas. So please do not use this. Okay. Now for using for example or for instance. Right? These two can be used in the middle or in a new sentence. Let's look at an example. To eat healthy, we can start by eating fruits. For example, we can eat bananas, apples, and pineapples. So you see, here, for example, is used in a new sentence. But it can also be written like this. To eat healthy, we can start by eating fruits. For example, we can eat bananas, apples, and pineapples. Yes, you can do this as well. But normally, people do the first one. And when you are using, for example, or for instance, remember I said that you have to write complete sentences, right? Why? Because you need to use it for specific examples. Let's look at an example. Fruits and vegetables are good for our health. For example, fruits contain fiber and vegetables have vitamins. So you see, you mention specific examples. Don't do this. There are many healthy food, for example, fruits and vegetables. You see, that example is not even a complete sentence and it's not very specific. So please do not do this, right? Finally, we are back to the question. Before you can even plan your answers to brainstorm the ideas, you need to analyze the question first. Remember, where are the points? The bullet points. So the first one is, do you like online shopping? Next is, what are the advantages of online shopping? And next one is to list the things you would shop online. So there are 3 bullets here. But you must remember that contents has 5 marks. But we only have 3 bullets. So meaning to say, there are more than just 3. We need to analyze whether it's singular or plural, whether that point has only one or it requires more than one. So do you like online shopping? This is actually basically just a yes no answer, so it only has 1 point. And then advantages is plural, so at least 2 reasons. And then the things are plural, also at least 2. So now we have 1 point for yes and no, 2 for reasons, and then 2 for things. That makes it 5 marks for content. And remember, you need to use all the points given. Now that we know what we need to answer, let's start brainstorming the ideas. So the first one is, do you like online shopping? So yes or no? For this answer, I choose yes. And then the advantages of online shopping. Why I choose yes? Because advantages. Obviously, if you talk about the benefits, good things about something, you must agree with it. So, I like online shopping, and then I will give the advantages. The first one, details, right? Remember der. So now details, because advantages, what is the advantage? So what? The first one is convenient. And then you can further elaborate by asking how. How is it convenient? It saves time and money. And we can give reason or we can give example. And then followed by another detail, which is about wider variety. We can give reason, we can give examples. And then things people would buy online. So things, what is it? So what, the first one is apparels. Apparels basically means pakaian, attire. And then we can give examples, we can give reasons. And then another one, details, what is it? We can give things that people buy online is food, right? Then we give example, we can give reason. Now for the first point, do you like online shopping? Well, I said earlier that I chose yes. So how do we write it? We have to mention that we like online shopping. It doesn't have to say yes, but we have to mention that we like online shopping. So for example, do you like online shopping? Some people may not like it because they are afraid of being a scammer's victim or any other reasons, but I personally like online shopping for a number of reasons. You see, the word personally there is actually a phrase, a linker. Let's look at the first advantage, which is convenient. To begin with, online shopping is more convenient. With online shopping, we do not have to waste time nor money because everything is at the tip of our finger. For example, if we want to buy something, we can simply browse through retail apps such as Shopee or Lazada, and we will be done in a minute. In fact, we do not need to worry about finding a parking spot when going out shopping. So you see all the colored and underlined phrases are the contents, and the one I bolded are linkers. What about the next advantage? It's wider variety or basically more choices. So let's see example of the paragraph. Besides convenience, online shopping offers wider variety of selection. Remember that we often get frustrated when we cannot find the color or the size of our choice at a shop, so we have to go to a different shop. However, with online shopping, we can filter our search and can easily find the size or color we are looking for. So you see, there is an example even though we don't use the word for example, right? So this is an example of how to write uh, an advantage. So again, the colored underline are the points and the bolded words are linkers. For things that we bought online, we can write in one paragraph. So the first one is apparels and also food. So let's look at an example. Finally, it is time to talk about things people purchase online. What would you buy online? I prefer to look for apparels such as shirts, pants, and even shoes because of the wider selection. When I get too busy with work, I would just order food from Foodpanda or other delivery services and the food is sent to my doorstep. Oh, how convenient! So you see, I'm using the earlier points about advantages, which is convenient as well as wider selection, to give examples of things that people buy. So this is one way of writing the content point. Again, the colored and underlined words are the contents, and the bolded words are linkers. Now let's look at how to write the closure for articles. The closure or conclusion for articles is pretty much similar to part 2 with slight difference. So it has two parts. The first one is to summarize the ideas, followed by providing future implications as well as action that can be done. Implications are effects or impacts, kesan sesuatu, and then what can be done to address that problem. Right? So let's see how to write the conclusion. To summarize the ideas, you can use these phrases to start them. To conclude, in conclusion, to sum up, on the whole, in brief, or as we have seen. And then followed by thesis statement from the introduction. Remember the second part of your introduction. Make sure to rephrase the statement of your opinion. Why you need to rephrase? Because if you keep repeating the same thing from the thesis statement, the repetition gives the impression to the markers, to the examiners, that you lack vocabulary. So remember to rephrase and change the wordings. So back to our topic, which is about online shopping. In the thesis statement earlier, we said if you read further, you will discover about the advantages of online shopping and the things people would buy online. So the focus is advantages. So how do we summarize the sentence? Okay, the focus, as I say, is advantages. So we can replace it with the word boon. Boon also means advantages. So this is what we'll get. As we have seen, online shopping brought so much boon to humankind since its existence. Now, for the second part of the conclusion, which is future implications as well as action. You may start this part using these phrases. Consequently, subsequently, or as a result. And then you give future implications as well as actions that need to be taken. To write the future implications and action, you may use these phrases to write them. The topic, whatever it is, may be good for us in many ways, but if not controlled, then you give the future implication. Followed by, so we should, and then mention whatever action that can be taken. So let's look at an example for online shopping. Online shopping may be good for us in many ways because we talked about the advantages earlier, remember? But if not controlled, we may end up wasting our money buying things we do not need. So, because it's too convenient, right? So it saves our time and everything, but we may waste our money. So what can we do to solve this problem? So we should remember to watch our daily or monthly spending closely. So because we may waste money, so we need to watch our daily and monthly spending. So when we write the conclusion in a paragraph, it will look like this. As we have seen, online shopping brought so much boon to humankind since its existence. Right? The red one is the summary. The way I see it, online shopping may be good for us in many ways, but if not controlled, we may end up wasting our money buying things we do not need. This one is the future implication. You see, I use linkers. For summary, I use as we have seen. And then for future implications, because this is our opinion, so I use the way I see it. And then to connect the action that can be done, I use the linker so. So we should remember to watch our daily or monthly spending closely. And that's it for our article for this topic about online shopping. Now, practice time. Let's see one other question. And here is our practice question. You found this notice on a travel website. This is just a scenario. It says there articles wanted, meaning we know that this is an article. My dream holiday destination. Remember, that is our title. So do you have anywhere you would love to go? Describe a local destination which would be an ideal location for your next holiday trip. And then we have 3 bullets there. What are the unique attractions there? Why do you choose this location? Would you recommend this place to anyone? So remember, the bullets are our points for contents. And then the others are just instruction. Write an article answering all these questions. The best article will receive free traveling vouchers for 2. So remember, contents have 5 marks. But we, again, this one have 3. This one has 3 bullets. So we need to know which one needs to, which one we need to write 2 or more, which one is only singular or plural. Okay, so what are the unique attractions there? Okay, attractions is plural. At least we must write 2 attractions, about 2 attractions. And then why do you choose this location? So why choose is not mentioned here, whether it's singular or plural. But then again, when we give reason, when we share which one is the attraction, we must give reason why. So at least at least we must have 2 reasons here. And then would you recommend this place to anyone? This one, you need to mention it at least 1. So if we write 2 attractions and then 2 reasons, and then we mention we recommend this place, then we already have 5. But obviously we can write more than that. So let's write the introduction. Did you know that more than 90% of working adults today are stressed and overworked? So what is this? This is a rhetorical question and also statistic. I combine both in one sentence. And then followed by, as the saying goes, all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. So if you are stressed, take a break and go on a holiday trip. This one is obviously a proverb. And then followed by the red one, if you read further, you will learn about a local destination which is ideal for your next trip and the wonders you may find there. And this is our thesis statement. So before we write the main body, remember to brainstorm your ideas. And let's brainstorm together. So I choose the location Langkawi because I'm based in Kedah. So Langkawi is a very popular attraction in Kedah. So I chose Langkawi. So the first one, unique attractions. The first one, what's unique in Langkawi are the beaches. Examples. So remember using the. So details. What is it? What is the attraction? I chose beaches. So I give examples: Chenang and Pantai Kok. And then the second attraction. Why people go to Langkawi? Obviously, it's for shopping. Examples is HIG and also Gamat products. And I decided to give 3 attractions. And the third one is sightseeing. So you go there to jalan-jalan, right? Examples, the cable car, eagles, and then you can mention where. And then followed by reasons. Reason number 1 is to support locals. And also reason number 2, which is because it is free duty and is affordable. And remember, the third bullet point is about whether you want to recommend or not. You only need to mention whether you recommend or do not recommend. So let's write the main body. Remember, the first attraction is the beaches. So let's see the sample paragraph. For this article, I chose Langkawi as the ideal location for a holiday trip. Remember to mention which location you choose first before you go on and elaborate about it. So what unique attractions can be found here? To start with, you see the bolded one is a linker. This island is best known for its pristine beaches. The most popular one is Chenang, where tourists from all over the world gather. However, you see, because I want to add a contrast, another idea, which is, because Chenang is very popular, but there are other places, there are other beaches which are as good but not as popular. So I use however. However, Chenang is not the only beach in Langkawi. Pantai Kok is also beautiful, where people go to eat scrumptious food while enjoying the spectacular view of the beach. And we're done with the first attraction. And now the second attraction, the reason people go to Langkawi is for shopping. So let's see our sample. Apart from that, so another linker, this legendary island is also famous as a heaven for shoppers. If you want to buy imported chocolates such as Whittaker's, Lindt and Hershey's at cheaper price, Haji Ismail Group, this is HIG, is where you should go. Notice that when I mention examples, I am specific. So when I mention chocolates, I give example Whittaker's, Lindt and Hershey's, popular brands for chocolates. And then where to buy it is in Haji Ismail Group. In fact, another point, right? In fact, Langkawi also offers a wide variety of gamat products. You see, gamat is not an English word, but it's well known in Malaysia. So I put that inverted comma to note that this word is a foreign word to English, which is a Malay word. Right? For your information, gamat, the Malay word for sea cucumber, is a well-known antibiotics and used as multi-purpose ointment among Malaysians. So you see, I quote that word gamat and then I explain what is it in Malay. And our final attraction, which is sightseeing. People go to Langkawi for sightseeing. So let's look at the sample. Last but not least, because we are listing down the attractions, right? So now our last attraction. So last but not least, Langkawi offers many picturesque places for sightseeing. One of the iconic places you can visit is located at Mat Cincang Mountain. Here, you can ride the cable car to the top. At the foot of the mountain, there are other attractions such as 3D museum and other fun rides for everyone. You see, again, when giving example, be specific. If you prefer peaceful places, take a trip to Kilim Geopark or Dayang Bunting Lake, where you can enjoy heavenly sights while feeding wild eagles found there. So you see, you need to be specific. Now we go further into reasons why I choose Langkawi. Right? The first one is support locals and the second one is free duty and it makes it affordable. So let's look at sample paragraph. Personally, because remember this is our opinion. So personally, I would choose Langkawi for two obvious reasons. So I mentioned that there are two reasons and then I want to mention the first one. I start with firstly. Firstly, Langkawi is a local destination and by choosing it, I am supporting our government's efforts to promote local places and products. Besides that, okay, so I'm giving another reason. Langkawi is a duty-free island where you do not need to pay tax, making it an affordable destination for holiday. And with that, we have finished writing the main body. And finally, the conclusion. In brief, Langkawi has a lot to offer and with many unique attractions, it is recommended for local and foreign tourists alike. So you see here, I actually used the last point. I recommend to go to Langkawi. And this one is the summary of the ideas. Subsequently, if you do not go to Langkawi now, you will have a lot to lose. And this is the future implication, followed by the action that you need to be done. Action that you need to do. So if you don't want to lose the chance, then what are you waiting for? Book your tickets and plan your trip now. And that's the end of our exercise. So what's next? For upcoming writing series, I will present to you the next chapter, which is chapter 5. And we go to the other part 3 for writing, which is review, followed by chapter 6, also writing part 3, but story. And the last one for part 3, which is chapter 7, is report. Stay tuned. And that's all, folks. All the best for your SPM. I'll see you again in, well, my next videos. Roger and out.